gods don't speak in ways we understand.
Who doesn't understand pain? Or blood? The gods told you.
Then I defy the gods.
Hello everybody, welcome back to Screenstars. I'm here today to bring you my review for the 2026 fantasy epic, The Odyssey. The film is directed, of course, by Christopher Nolan, and it stars Matt Damon as Odysseus. We've got Tom Holland, Anne Hathaway, Robert Pattinson, Zendaya, Charlize Theron, Lupita Nyong'o, Samantha Morton, John Leguizamo, John Bernthal, Bill Irwin, Himish Patel, Elliot Page, Mia Goth, Travis Scott. I could go on with that cast, but there we go. We'll leave it at that. Now, the film follows Matt Damon's character, Odysseus, and it follows his epic journey as he tries to return home after the Trojan War. However, his journey is filled with all sorts of trials and tribulations, coming into, into contact with famous mythical beasts, curses, witches, sirens, you name it. Everything is put in their way to stop him and his army getting back home in one piece. His kingdom, he's being swarmed and swamped by suitors seeking to take Odysseus's throne by mating with his wife. His son, played by Tom Holland, is trying to hold on to his kingdom, but the longer the king is away, and he's now been away close to 20 years, the more likely it is he's never going to return. Right, what are my thoughts on The Odyssey? Now, Christopher Nolan, genius filmmaker, but he's not a perfect filmmaker. I really enjoy the majority of Christopher Nolan's films. However, the last couple he's done, I've not been a big fan of. Oppenheimer and Tenet. I know Oppenheimer was a giant hit and it was a brilliant awards film and all that kind of stuff. It's just not my taste, that film. And Tenet in 2020, I wasn't overly keen on that either. But there's no doubt that this guy can make incredible films, and he's a fantastic director. So I think his first film after Oppenheimer was always going to be mega hyped. I mean, massively so. And this certainly has. It's had its positive hype and it's had its negative hype. As all big films tend to get these days, there's been people targeting this on this platform, YouTube, online. I've seen many examples of people targeting this film for whatever reasons. The fact that they're, changing history and changing, race swapping people and, even casting Elliot Page in it and all this kind of stuff. It's ridiculous and scandalous, and I won't be a part of that absolute bollocks. It's not journalism, it's not film criticism, it's just stirring up hatred, and I can't stand it. I really can't. So I personally have been very much looking forward to this, because you just know Christopher Nolan, with this subject matter, with a budget and with his talent, is going to create something that is undeniably quite special. And that's what he's done. In my opinion here, he has delivered a really fantastic film. It's not flawless. In fact, there are quite a few issues with it. I think there's pacing issues with the film. I think there's narrative issues occasionally with the film. And I think there's casting issues with the film. But it does not change the fact that what we've got here is an epic cinematic experience that will sweep you away as you are drawn into it and enjoy it. And I certainly really enjoyed this. It's not exactly what I expected, and I'll be honest, I didn't watch a lot of trailers going into this. I wanted to kind of be surprised in a lot of ways, because I wasn't sure. I was fairly sure we weren't going to get, like, a Jason of the Argonauts type film here, you know what I mean? sword and sandals classics that we used to get when I were a kid. But I wasn't sure what kind of approach Chris Nolan was going to give this film. And what he's done here, he has been true to the original poem, I suppose, and the original story, by delivering these mythical beasts and things. But he's done it, as he very much did in the Batman world, in a very grounded way. And he's got such a talent for doing that, Chris Nolan. You believe what you're seeing here in this film. When they meet Cyclops, it's done in such a way that it's actually genuinely quite frightening. Whereas when you see Cyclops in, like I say, the Jason and the Argonauts films, or the Sinbad films and all that kind of stuff that used to be out when I was a kid, you're never really scared of them, and Clash of the Titans and all that stuff. They were just kind of fun to look at on screen, whereas, promise you, you'll be fairly frightened by the Cyclops in this one. And then there's so much, really. I mean, it's almost comical that this journey that Matt Damon's on with his men, it is so cursed, it's unbelievable. And I mean, literally, everywhere they go, every place they kind of, park the boat and go to land, there's something there to kill them, or there's something there to poison them, or whatever it is, there's something there to bugger them up. And it's just kind of scene after scene of Matt Damon's men being decimated and just scraping through and surviving somehow. It doesn't present them as these heroic characters in any way, shape or form, really. It shows them getting their asses kicked consistently here. I think one of my favourite sections of the film was where they landed on this island, and there's like these giant knights turn up. I mean, absolutely. I thought it was so impressive that it really, really, it was so well done. I mean, it's all well done. The cinematography here is another level good. It really, really is. It just swallows you up. It's just beautifully shot. It really is. But I mean, it would only be fair to talk about what I think some of the weaknesses are in this film. And pacing issues, I think the film has issues with that. It's not what you would call full-on action, even when you get the action, if that makes sense. And when you watch the film, that might make more sense. So it's not like a thriller-minute full-on action film or anything like that. Excuse me, I'm just getting over a cold. So there's definite pacing issues here. Some of the narrative issues it's a little bit patchy in regards to how it kind of tells the story. It's a little bit jarring. It takes a long time to get going, this film, I felt. But I think the casting here is problematic. And I don't have any issue with the casting of Elliot Page, and I don't have any issue with Helen of Troy, being Lupita Nyong'o being cast, and I don't give a monkeys about any of that. But it's almost like they've found a part for every actor in Hollywood right now. Tom Holland, Anne Hathaway, Robert Pattinson is in everything, Zendaya's in everything, Charlize Theron's in everything, John Bernthal's in everything, Mia Goth's in everything. And it doesn't feel to me like the right parts were given to the right actors. I could take or leave Robert Pattinson's performance. He just basically plays a weasel, and he plays it very one-dimensional, in my opinion. The actors here who impressed me the most was Matt Damon, who I thought was excellent as Odysseus. I think it's right up there with his best performances. And I'm actually going to say Tom Holland. I thought Tom Holland was better than I expected. I don't personally rate Tom Holland as an actor in regards to doing deep stuff. He's great in the Spider-Man stuff, I get all that. But when you're asking him to properly act, I've never really seen him do that effectively. Well, he does here. And then probably, I think Samantha Morton was very good. And John Leguizamo, was excellent. Kind of playing against type. He normally gets like villainous roles or like, I don't know, sleazy gangster type stuff or whatever, or the sidekick. Well, here, you know, he gets to really act, and he does very, very well. Everybody else, I'm not going to lie. I mean, Elliot Page I thought was fine as well. And anybody that thought it was controversial casting Elliot Page, when you know who he's playing in the film, makes perfect sense, the casting. And it's a very, very pivotal part, even though it's quite a small part for Elliot Page. So yeah, I don't think the casting was the best, but everything else, apart from a little bit of pacing and narrative issues, everything else I thought was on point here. And what we've got is a very, very strong sword and sandals type, epic, modern day telling of an old type tale, so to speak. So yeah, I had a good time with this one, guys. Thanks for joining me. I'll check you out, obviously, with loads more content on the channel. Don't forget to check back, and I'll see you on the next video.